What's poppin', fellers? This is Equilibrium Man, my ultimate Ironman account where I have to level my skills as equally as possible, no more than one level apart. This perfectly balanced account has had its fair share of issues, with the biggest and longest lasting being my constant need for Slayer XP. Being able to only kill monsters on task has severely limited what I'm able to do PVM wise. But today, we finally venture into our first real bossing. KQ, Zulrah, Wildy bosses, and all of it culminates in our biggest encounter thus far, Jad. Before we can wrestle with Jaddy though, we've gotta get some levels. This beautiful base 80's not gonna hit itself. Today is Saturday, May 24th, and before I get to editing the previous episode, I'm prepping myself for some AFK gains. First up, we're talking to our main man Ali, Morrisane, to offload some blood runes, so we can have much more room in our pouch for the rune crafting grind. Watch that cash stack grow. Damn, we are sitting pretty at over 6 mil, more than halfway to a green cash stack. That's kinda crazy. And now it's on to rune crafting. I'll likely be done with this level before I'm done with the editing, but I'll check back in with whichever I finish first. I took a little break from editing to help out a Lobby with getting their 6-pack at the Barbarian Assault minigame. If you want to play Barb Assault, join the Discord, link down below. After that, we attended a little 99 party for Iron Lotad, or Rumith in the Discord. He's got a big one. Look at that, man, our first 80. I'm so freaking stoked for this base level. If I had to give a percentage for the editing process, I'd say we're about 30% of the way through. But we've still got a few pure AFK skills to go, so no sweat. Next up is mining. It's 10 AM on Sunday morning, and I have been up all night editing. We have our second level 80 skill. The video is also probably about 70% of the way done, which is pretty sick progress. Fishing is nice and slow too, so it should carry us through the rest of the way. And there's our third 80 skill. We can now cook sharks! Now I can finally start one of my favorite AFK activities. Did I ever tell you I can fill a whole inventory with big sharks on my main? I'm around 90% of the way through the video making process. The video itself is finished, fully complete. But unfortunately, the whole YouTube social game forces creators to put a ton of effort into their title and thumbnail. So I'm gonna have to spend a few hours brainstorming and running ideas by my peers. I really gotta thank a certain someone for a ton of mentorship on my title and thumbnail game. I don't want to blow up your spot, but if you're watching this, you know who you are. The last video went up yesterday evening, and Dag Prime is here to pay homage with a bond. Thanks! And a bit later in the day, there's 80 fishing. God, each new 80 on the stat sheet brings me so much joy. I want to keep the AFK train going, so next up is Hunter. I feel like I've done enough Hunt rumors for my lifetime. At level 80 I unlock Herbivore and will be mainlining that for my Hunter training. But for now, I wanted to move on to something more AFK than rumors that tied me over. So let's fill our pockets with bananas and go for a journey. During Monkey Madness 2, you unlock the ability to turn into Kruk, a big-ass monkey ninja. And after completing the quest, you can just claim a new Kruk Grigri for free from Zooknock and the Gnome Stronghold. With that Grigri in your pockets, you can head to Ape Atoll and go down into Kruk's dungeon. If you turn into Kruk, you can head north past these monkey bars and north again through this crack in the wall. There you'll enter a room full of maniacal monkeys. Hop on a demonic gorilla, set a trap, and wait. You can only set one trap at a time, so it is super slow compared to other Hunter training methods. But if you have plenty of bananas, you can just chill in this one spot for hours. One monkey tail successfully caught is 1k XP. So I'll see you all in another 186 monkeys. It's Wednesday morning and we got the Hunter level. But I missed the recording because I was in a meeting at the old life-sucking factory. Now I'm going to go do the slowest laps of all time at the Colossal Worm for the rest of the workday. Oh, I forgot that was gonna happen. There's our 5th 80. Let's spend our termites on MLAs and go use up these bone shards. After that, I think I'm going to do Herblore the normal way. I'm dead tired of mastering mixology. I kinda hate it there. So this base level, I'm gonna give myself a nice break. When you're making super restores, don't forget to grab yourself a pocket full of sardines and go visit everyone's favorite friend, the Spidine. What a cute little feller. You have to move around a whole lot more for regular Herblore, but it's not like mixology is anywhere close to AFK, and it feels like I'm actually accomplishing something watching my potion stacks grow. I was doing another death pile to get out the next pile of herbs to finish out the Herblore level, and I got to thinking, I wonder if it would be a good idea to finish off these small stacks I have left and make them all into potions. I kinda like having all types of herbs at the top of the looting bag for organizational purposes, but if I finish out the stack making potions, it would clear out a few spots in the looting bag. But then I'd also have to commit to, anytime I get more herbs, I have to immediately turn them into potions before storing them away, which kinda seems like a pain in the ass. I don't know, give me your thoughts on this. The last stack of herbs I wanted to play with is Hairlanders. I could buy chocolate and turn them into basic energy potions. Now that I have a couple thousand doses of staminas, I just don't think it's worth my time. I've got a few points saved up for mastering mixology, and I've never spent a single one. I was thinking it might be fun to buy some Aldarium and turn these Hairlanders into goading potions. It could make my AFK Slayer times even nicer. Or if I'm feeling cheeky, I could drop trade them over to the main and sell them off for a pretty penny. There's 80 Herblore. Look at that, man. I didn't realize goading potions were so expensive. I'm gonna hold on to them for now, but don't be surprised if that ends up as part of a bond later. I want to move on to the woodcutting type skills, but before that, let's do a little crafting check. For those who don't know, I like to use the gem store in Alderan here in Varlamore. It can stock up to 3 uncut sapphires, 2 uncut emeralds, and 1 uncut ruby, which adds up to some decent XP across a few hundred world tops. Let's buy a chisel in anticipation and check in with Toki. Looks like we're all out of stock today, so I guess we'll be moving on. Let's visit the Woodcutting Guild and buy ourselves a rune axe. It's a sad day when you don't have any noted planks saved up to help speed you through the mahogany homes. Have to cut each inventory one trip at a time. But at least we can count on Amy's reward crates to have some nice noted steel bars for us. That'll make things a little nicer. Let's hit that grind. It's been a long day, mostly because I took a nap for several hours and then went on a bike ride and fell off my bicycle right onto my shoulder. Now, I can't move it without terrible pain. But there's 80 Construction. This is a level I've been looking forward to for a while, because at level 80 Construction you can build the achievement gallery. With our crystal saw boosting us up just a bit, we can make a basic jewelry box, which gives us free, unlimited teleports to all locations available with a games necklace or ring of dueling. This is why I love construction, man. All the upgrades are just so nice. I started off my Saturday with a little fire making, and I think I'm gonna celebrate 80 fire making by doing some reward pulls and seeing if I can get anything nice. Anyone else feel like Wintertide rewards are kinda garbage? By the way, good news everyone! After a terrible night's sleep, my shoulder hurts less than it did yesterday. Bad news though, it still hurts pretty dang bad. I can lift it over my head, but not without a lot of sharp pain. Today's shower was one of the toughest ones I've taken in a long time. Here's hoping for a quick recovery. Well, at least we got one item. Let's check the clog. I don't know, does this suck? It feels like it sucks. Nice, there's 80 fletching. Can now make magic short bows. That means I can finally go through this fat stack of magic logs I've been hoarding in my looting bag. For now though, I'm just gonna finish out the rest of these arrows and go use up these bone shards for a nice chunk of prayer XP. And with all the shards used up, we're sitting at 86k XP to go for the prayer level. We won't be getting any more nice big prayer XP chunks this level circuit, but we've still got one last nice and easy way to get a bunch of prayer XP that we'll be doing later on. For now, we've got to finish up woodcutting. While I'm chopping up some Silas Up mushrooms here to build up our fossil collection, I've got a little shoulder update for you. it's getting better. I did struggle to pick up a gallon of milk today, and I had to two-hand a watermelon in the grocery store, but the sharp pains are getting less sharp and no longer straight up immobilize me. So I think we're good. Nothing to worry about. Hopefully. Yay! With 80 woodcutting, that is 11 out of 23 skills to 80. Unfortunately, I did all the easiest skills first, so things are going to get a little slower from here. Now, it's bedtime. Okay, new day, new headspace. Let's clean these fossils and see if we can get any lamps out of them. Looks like we might have a couple lamps worth. I'm trying to get as much bonus Slayer XP as I can today to get the Slayer level as close to complete as possible. That way we have plenty of combat XP to use when we go for these hard achievement diaries later. We've got some bossing to do, and who knows how many attempts it might take. We managed 3 small lamps and 2 mediums. I'd say that's not too bad. About 15k XP. Let's do a crafting check. Come on, give me some gems. I don't want to have to resort to glass blowing. Oh, that's rough. I don't even know if that's worth the world tops. We managed a whole 6k XP. Yay! I think I'm gonna try something silly. I kinda hate thieving, just standing there spam clicking for hours on end. So I'm gonna see how it feels to break it up into smaller chunks. I'm gonna thieve up 1 farming run worth of herb seeds, do the farming run, and then take a break from thieving until it's time for the next farming run. Does that sound stupid? Yes, it sounds stupid even to me, and I came up with it. But let's give it a try. Okay, well, it only took me about 15 to 20 pickpockets, but there we go. Time for a break. It's been a bicycle ride and a dinner and a bit since the last crafting check, and I'm doing another one because the last one just pissed me off. I'm not doing it. Better luck next time. Alright, it's smithing time. Originally, I thought I might take a break from this hellish cannonball process and do some Giant's Foundry instead, since I already have plenty of cannonballs to finish out this level circuit. But really, it just makes sense to keep increasing that cannonball stack, at least until I get absolutely sick of it. So let's make some balls. Holy heck, we finally did it. Only took like 3 days. That's 37,000 balls in the bag. We also managed to get over half the thieving level doing our dumb new little method. Honestly, I kinda like it. It was nice taking a break from the mind-numbing cannonball runs to do anything else, and it was also nice to not have to spam click for thieving for multiple hours straight. I think I'm gonna stick with this a while longer. Now I'm gonna do one last crafting check. If this one falls through too, I might have to cave and just do some regular crafting. Yes, full stock! Nice, a good 55k XP. I could go do something else, but I'm pretty tired, so let's hit the hay for the day and check if there's more gems for us tomorrow. I accidentally didn't play for like the whole day, but next day, crafting check. Yeah, I'll take it. 26k-ish XP. I might go do some crafting the regular way, just to finish this level out. It's not like I hate this method of crafting or anything, it's just nice being able to get the crafting XP a little more passively and get some profit from it too. But for today, I want to get this crafting level completed so we can move on to the rest of these skills. Nice, 80 crafting. Ooh, I can make glories. If I can ever find the Dragonstone. The one thing that does stink about not doing Guardians of the Rift anymore is no more free law runes, so we have to buy our own. Thankfully we do get tons of blood runes we could sell if needed, but for now I'm rich enough that I'm just gonna stock up. I'll be needing quite a few tellies for tomorrow's activities. Today, it's finally time for us to get hard and do some achievement diaries. Spoiler alert, I don't think we'll be able to do every task in the hard tier this video, but we're sure gonna do our damnedest. Our long list of tasks to do includes combat tasks, of course. Bossing anyone? Before we do anything too exciting though, I want to sweep up some of the easier tasks. It's been a while, so I think it's time for a little montage. And there we go. That's 20 tasks completed. To completely finish out the hard tier of achievement diaries though, we need to do 8 more. 4 of those tasks are pretty simple on the surface, but have a little wrinkle to them to cover. The other 4 are boss tasks. It would make more sense plot-wise to save the boss tasks for last, but I already had some gear prepped from the miscellaneous combat tasks, so before anything else, I want to tackle the most annoying tasks. The wilderness bosses. The wilderness is a nightmare land that I hate going into, and being on an Ultimate Ironman makes it even worse, because if I die, I lose everything I own. And we have to kill a total of 4 bosses out there in that hell zone. To get around some of the risk, we're going to prep the items we need in our inventory, and use the classic death pile to securely hold all our shit on the floor for an hour. I set a timer, and here's the gear setup for our first boss, the Chaos Elemental. It's a pretty terrible setup, but hopefully with the help of a little cheese we can manage well enough. The Chaos Elemental isn't the toughest boss out there, but it can be a little bit of a pain. It hits fast, and it uses random damage types, so whatever you pray against you'll still take a lot of damage. It also has a special attack that can unequip your gear if you don't take precautions against it. It is a pretty old boss though, and there have been some strategies developed to make the fight easier. One is to bring a type of food that leaves something behind in your inventory, like stews or pies, because if your inventory is full, it can't unequip your gear. There's also been a few safe spots found, and we're going to try to make use of those. I tried to fight it straight up at first, but it was shredding my ass, and my food was just not cutting it. So I tried dragging it over next to its D-aggro range. If you stand on the other side of this line, it won't attack back. And it was going well enough, until some bot wearing a recoil ring ran past and did 1 damage point to the boss, making my kill worthless.
Oh bullshit.
We did a take 2, but the same thing happened again. So instead of using the D-aggro line, I went for the flinching method by hiding around these trees. Unfortunately, flinching with ranged weapons doesn't really work, so I took damage every time I damaged it. I got it past halfway down, but had to leave. And while I was out getting more food, I picked up my dragon scimitar from my death pile so I could flinch it better. But then, instead of flinching it, I just beat its ass. Probably should have gone with the scimitar from the start, it turns out. Task completed. The Chaos Elemental is the most dangerous wilderness boss on this list, so it was a task all its own. The next task though is 3 bosses. Thankfully it doesn't have to be all in one life, so we'll be frequently changing up our gear and refreshing our death piles to make things a little less stressful. There is still stress involved though. While the Chaos Elemental is the toughest boss we have to kill out here, the next boss might be the scariest, Scorpia. This boss is in a multi-combat zone that can be a hotspot for PKers, so my heart rate is going to be a little extra high for this fight. Here's the gear. That looks terrible. Is this enough? Probably. Thankfully you can avoid all damage on this boss if you pre-ranged and keep out of reach of melee attacks. We sip a super anti-poison dose and head in. Oh bullshit. It was missing like 2 HP. Do I leave and hop worlds? Or maybe I should just kill it and then kill it again? I'm gonna stay. The tactic for this boss is to freeze it in place with a spell like Entangle, and then mage it down. It's pretty simple. At half HP though, 2 healers spawned and it becomes a bit of a DPS check. I tried freezing the healers so I could finish out the boss itself, but that did not work out for me, and all of a sudden it was full health. But wait, this was actually a blessing in disguise, because now that it is back at full health, the other player's damage no longer affects my kill credit. I finished off the healers and prayed that they wouldn't come back when it got to half health again. And they didn't. It ended up a simple kill in the end. That's not the end of the task though. Just stage 1 of 3. but the next 2 bosses should be easy. Heading south to the next scariest boss in line is the Chaos Fanatic. He's set up in a PK hotspot too, but the fight itself is pretty easy thankfully. He's basically Chaos Elemental light. He has the unequip your gear attack too, but we've already covered how to combat that. He only does magic damage, so we can block that with Prey Mage. The only new thing is these green blobs he throws out that you just have to dodge. As long as you avoid those, it's a matter of time. Second boss dead, 1 to go. Honestly, that fight went so well, I think I'm going to just head straight to the last one. The Crazy Archeologist. We already killed this guy way earlier in the series to get this rune crossbow we've been using ever since. This guy's the easiest of all, but I was struggling to damage him a little, because you aren't really supposed to use ranged on this guy. Mage is the meta. It took me a little while to remember how to get him in the safe spot. And with the low damage, it took a while. But we took him down. That's the task complete, and the entire Wilderness Hard Diary is complete. Yes! I hate being in the wilderness, man. I'm so glad to be done with this place for now. I'm actually a little torn on what to do with this Achievement Diary reward lamp though. I used to just drop every lamp on Slayer, but Slayer's kind of been solved. And if you ask any normal Ironman, they'll drop their lamps on Herblore, because getting herbs is kind of a pain. I really don't like doing Mastering Mixology too, so the less I have to do with that, the better. But it would also be nice to keep expanding that Slayer to hit points XP gap. It could be nice to have more combat XP free to do some combat like bossing or going for drops outside of just Slayer tasks. These reward lamps can't be destroyed and claimed again later, so I have to make my decision before I claim that diary reward. For now, I'm going to bed, and tomorrow we get to do tasks outside of the wilderness. Hey, subscribe. Please. Please! I ended up taking Sunday off for some family time, but I've made my decision. It just makes way more sense to put the diary lamps on Slayer. At the end of the day, the lamps are only 15k XP each, so it doesn't really matter that much. But extrapolated out, it's like a drop in the bucket for Herblore. But that could be several boss kills and chances it drops if we put it on Slayer and keep expanding the Slayer to hit points XP gap. Now that that decision has been made, it's time to do some more Achievement Diary tasks. Since the stress of the wilderness is out of the way, I'm going to take a break from the boss tasks and work on some of the simpler tasks that have a little bit of a wrinkle to them. First up is killing an elf with a crystal bow for the Western Provinces Diary. Now, aside from the moral quandary of killing a fully sentient being whose city we saved, getting a crystal bow is a bit of an annoyance for me. You might remember literally last episode when I got a black mask and decided to drop my crystal weapon seed. Turns out, I probably should have read ahead, because that weapon seed sure would have come in handy here. Fortunately though, a little wikiing taught me that I can just buy a bow from Isilwin here in Prifddinas. So this task was a little easier than I thought it would be. It did cost me 900k though, which sucks. But we can use this bow for a little more stuff later. That's one more task down. 5 tasks left to finish out the hard tier. Hopping over to Ardone now, we have 2 tasks to complete the hard diary, and I think we might be able to work on both at the same time. We need to charge a piece of Dragonstone jewelry at the Legends Guild, and we need to smith a Dragon Square shield. The best way to get a Dragonstone is from the Crystal Chest in Taverley, for which we need to get 2 halves of a key. We've only ever opened the Crystal Chest once on this account, from a key we got from Magpie Implings, but there's another way to get those key halves. The Gem Drop Table. That brings us to our next task, the Dragon Square Shield. To make that, you need 2 halves of the shield to put together. One half you can buy from the Legends Guild, the other drops from the Gem Drop Table. So all we need to complete both tasks is get some drops from that table. Easy, right? Not really. Each monster only has a chance at rolling the Gem Drop Table. Except for one monster. The Gorak is an ancient monster that's been in the game for over 20 years, and for all that time, it's been bugged to always hit the Gem Drop Table on every single kill. The drops we need are still decently rare, but killing ourselves some Goraks gives us our best chance at getting them. Wish me luck. Goraks can be a little bit of a pain to kill. You can't pray against their damage, but you can safe spot them, so it should only be a matter of time and of XP. Here's hoping we don't go too dry. My loot tracker isn't working, so I'm not too sure, but I think I've killed like, I don't know, 50 of these guys? And I just realized I need a Ring of Wealth to get the decent drop rates for this stuff. So, let's go catch some magpies, at least for our first Dragonstone. There's no set spawn for magpies in Puro, but a little bit of world hopping and we should be able to find enough of them. Ah, I finally got the first half. I got the Dragonhide drop like 6 times in a row. That took like an hour. No, another loop. Not this again.
Ah!
I'm gonna go for one more.
Mm-hmm. Yay! What about like just like one more though?
Okay, you know what? It's been another hour. We're moving on. We've got 2 keys, that's good enough. I wanted 3. 1 for the Ring of Wealth to go for the shield left half, 1 for a skills necklace to charge for my diary task, and 1 for an amulet of glory for me to keep. But for now, I'll just make the ring and complete the task, and hopefully we'll get another key while going for the shield half. I suppose I could also get an extra key from the chest itself. Let's open it up. Worthless? And essentially worthless. Alright, let's make that jewelry. 1 necklace. 1 ring. Freaky Forester. Lamp on Slayer. 1 skills necklace. 1 ring of wealth. The ring will never get charged, but we'll use it for this grind. And use the necklace on the totem. That's task complete. Some of these teleports are actually really handy, but it's just not worth the inventory space. See ya. While I'm crafting, I'm gonna see if I can get a lucky boost and make myself a black dragonhide body. First try, nope. Second try, nope. Well, that's all the spice I had saved up, so I'm giving up for now. I'll just make some fan braces for some cash instead. It just wasn't meant to be. Okay, back to Gorax with a nice new ring this time. Wish me luck. Again.
Oh, fuck. Hell yeah.
We managed to get the important drop. It only took us an hour. I was kinda hoping to get another key tooth for the glory though, so I might stay just a little longer.
Oh, yay.
Ideally, I'd like to get 1 more, so I can mount a glory in my house, and wear one too. I'm just gonna run through the rest of these crystal bow charges and see if we get extra lucky. Nope, there it goes. Alright, let's buy the right half of the shield. Our huge cash stack is just raining away. Make the shield. And there we go. Our own hard diaries have been fully completed. Let's get our rewards and put another 15k XP on Slayer. Now we can alch this worthless shield. See you, bitch. And the ring. And let's open our last crystal key. Pretty much worthless, but all we really need is that Dragonstone. Now let's string it. Enchant it. And charge it. And there's our glory. Oh my god, dude. That is such an incredible upgrade to see. Whew. Stoked on that one for sure. And once again, it's time to boss. Tomorrow. The next boss on our list is the desert boss, the Kalphite Queen. She's one of the oldest bosses in the game, and for the whole time she's been around, she's been a tough one, mostly because of the crazy damage she can deal. Thankfully we can make use of the Chaos Partisan to make the fight a little easier for us, because it deals a bunch of extra damage to bug type monsters. There's a couple of ways you can cheese this boss to make it much easier. but I want to see if I can take her head on. Here's the setup. And here goes. Alright, we're swapping to Flinch Protocol. We didn't quite manage a real kill, but thanks to all the bonus mobs in the room, we can block the queen in and use the classic Flinch, where you get free attacks if you attack her slow enough. Her prey melee isn't a real prey melee, it just boosts her melee defense a ton, so if we go at it long enough, we can get her. Yay! That's the queen dead, and the Desert Hard Diaries completed. Another lamp on Slayer. This next boss scares me. Zulrah. Just like so many other bosses out there, I've only killed it once on the main for the diary, and I remember struggling with it. Zulrah has different phases, prayer swaps, gear swaps, venom, and all kinds of things on the go to keep track of. Prepping for one kill attempt takes a pretty good amount of effort, so here's hoping for a first try on this one. Here's the setup. Now I'm going to make use of this Zulrah helper plugin too, to hopefully help carry us to the kill. I'll really need the luck for this one. I got so confused by the Zulrah helper, man. Ah! Okay. I got confused by this again. Yeah. I don't know. I suck at this. My brain is just straight up not working for all this switching right now. I'm going to recharge my crystal bow and see if I can go for a ranged only kill. Okay. Oh, I forgot to move. Well, this is the Jad phase, but it didn't tell me it was the Jad phase. So that kind of pisses me off. Alright, fuck you too. Nah, I gotta go back to being a swappler. Oh, I forgot to make a new Ring of Recoil again. That's really not gonna work. I might as well reset. Alright. I don't know why it's not showing me that this is the Jad phase. Okay, I haven't done this since Desert Treasure 2, but I'm busting out the main. I'm doing way too dog shit, and every re-gear takes way too much time. So I'm going to do some practice runs until I feel a little more comfortable here. I did like 4 or 5 attempts on the main, and it helped me kind of feel more solid about the mechanics. I kind of got the timing down for when to switch your prayers on Jad phase. I don't really understand how the Jad phase works. And got a better understanding of when and where to run to on each phase switch. After a close fight, but no actual kills on the main, it was back to the feller. Well, it was close at least. I think I feel confident enough to give it another try on the feller after I reclaim my shit. We got him pretty close. I'm out of here, there's no chance. Okay, I got confused about where we were going. I missed phase. Now, I was doing a little looking at the Zulrah wiki page, and it turns out that Zulrah actually has a fire weakness. So shout out to every single one of the guides I watched for never mentioning that at all. Not even the newer guides from after the weakness update said a thing about it. Anyway. Alright, I'm telling you, but that was the closest we've got him. Yes, okay, 14 attempts. And finally, there's the kill. That was one of the toughest bosses we've had to face so far. If the next one takes that many attempts, it's gonna be a real problem. My microphone was flickin' muted. But that's the Western Province's Hard Diaries complete. Another lamp for Slayer. We only have a single achievement diary task left to complete the entire hard tier of achievement diaries. That task is to kill a Ketzek in the Fight Caves. The Fight Caves is a massive gauntlet of 63 waves of increasingly difficult monsters, all culminating in Jad, the final boss. The Ketzek is also known as the Major, and the first one spawns halfway through the Fight Caves. But I figured, if we're gonna shoot for halfway, we might as well try to go the whole way through, right? That's right, the next boss on our list is Jad. This MFer was the top dog of in-game bosses for like 15 years running, and I've only ever killed him a single time, to get the illustrious Fire Cave on my main. And today, that's our goal. But I'm gonna set expectations for you. We're only giving this one shot. Getting to the Major is dead easy, there's no question I'm getting there. But if we die after the Major, we're not getting the Fire Cave, at least not this base level. Here's my setup. We've got a few ranging pots, a couple sharks for emergency healing, and a bunch of super restores. The gear isn't the greatest, but it's what we've got. Here goes nothing.
Oh, whoops, I forgot to record. I'm already on wave 3.
The first enemy in the caves is the Bat. It only has 10 HP, but if it hits you, it drains prayer, so try to kill it before it touches you. Wave 2, 2 bats. Wave 3, the bats merge into the next monster, a meleeer blob that splits into 2 smaller blobs when you kill it. This guy can be prayed against, but he doesn't really do any damage anyway. He's the easiest guy in here. Wave 4, the blob and a bat. Wave 5, the blob and 2 bats. Wave 6, 2 blobs. And Wave 7, the 2 blobs merge into the next monster, this time a ranger. He doesn't do much damage, but I'll pray against him for now. Do you get how this works yet? Every wave you get a bat, and if monsters can merge, they'll merge. Super simple stuff. Wave 15, the 2 rangers merge into a bigger meleeer that can also heal itself and those around it. It only casts the heal if it's in melee range of you though, so make use of corners to avoid it and you're golden. Wave 23.
Oopsie.
I messed up safe spotting the meleeer and took a ton of unnecessary damage. But I'm not wasting my food yet. I'm gonna hit the logout button to pause the waves and then stand here for 60 minutes to heal back up. This is the secret technique for free and easy fire caves. Being patient. Alright, wave 30. 2 healers. And after this wave is the Major. The Major is a monster, but so long as you stay out of melee range and keep your prey mage up, you'll be okay.
There he is. Look at his ancient lizard ass. Nice.
That's the Major dead, and the Tzhaar diaries completed. Now if we want that fire cave, we've got to do it all again from the start, but with a Major shooting at us the whole time. He can do some crazy damage, so we've got to camp prey mage from here on out. Wave 38, now there's a Major and a Ranger to worry about. I'm pretty much just going to have to tank the Ranger from here on, and if it deals too much damage to me, wait for my health to regen again. Thankfully they don't hit too often, but it's still a little scary. It's wave 41. I took a little more damage than I'm comfortable with from the Ranger, so it's time for a waiting break. This is going to be a long couple of hours. Wave 45, another break. Wave 53, it's the final countdown, 10 waves to go. This is when it starts getting a little tough. You have to deal with a Major, a meleeer, and a Ranger all at once. Wave 58 is when there are the most monsters possible in the room. 1 Major, 1 meleeer, 1 Ranger, 1 blob, and 2 bats. It's all merges from here.
Oh, fuck.
And I ate all my emergency food. GL me. Let's wait for this HP.
Woo! I did good.
Wave 60.
Whee.
That's the 2 Ranger wave done. Wave 61. Next wave is the penultimate wave, and ironically, it's one of the easiest, because you just have to pray mage. Before that, I'm going to take one last healing break, and then we're going for Jad. Wave 62, 2 majors. Watch where this orange fucker spawns. That's where Jad is going to spawn next wave.
Whoa, shit.
One major down. Two down. Here we go. Wave 63, Jad. Jad is the scariest part of this whole ordeal, because you have to swap your prayers to match his attacks. And if you miss even one, he can one-hit your ass. Just remember, Stompy's is ranged, Wiggly's is magic. That's Stompy's. And there's Wiggly's. I was running around the room trying to get him behind a wall so I could safely take a look at him, but it just wasn't working.
Ah, fuck it. Let's just fight him.
Got him to half HP, 4 healers spawn here. You gotta get those guys off of Jad while also switching your prayers correctly. This is where a lot of people make a mistake.
Bug. Alright, I got the healers trapped. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yay! Yeah, I'm pretty sure I tanked like 2 or 3 hits. But we did it. Fire Cape.
Fire Cape! Yay! It only took 4 hours. Can't wait to put it on my cape rack. That's the Karamja Diaries done. 1 final lamp on Slayer. And the entire hard tier of diaries has been completed. Look at that. Ain't that just equal? Now we just need to fly through the rest of these levels. And to finish it out, we're finally using our last XP lamp from Desert Treasure 2 for 80 prayer. Yes! Base 80. God, that looks so fucking cool. I love me a good multiple of 10. I had a fantastic time this base level. All hard diaries finished, the fire cape. I feel like we've finally become a real account. And I look forward to working through the endgame ahead. Hope you all come along. Bye for now. It's been another incredible video, and I couldn't have done it without all my channel members here pushing me along. I can't possibly thank you all enough. And an extra super special thank you to my top tier members as well. Ellie, Jack, Dark Zero, and Seppuku. You the best.